My name is Rose Zagal-Crosby, and this is my continuous quality improvement project.
The definition of continuous quality improvement is that it is a process that focuses on the system rather than the individual for improvement over a series of data gathering, analyzing, and implementing actions or interventions over time. Through cycles of systematic and continuous action, measurable improvement for a determined aim can be achieved. The Plan, Do, Study, Act model, or PDSA model, is used with CQI projects to help break down the data and identify changes needed to reach the desired improvement. My aim. I wanted to seek more balance in my life by incorporating more of what I love into my schedule. I had established a study schedule that I was sticking to fairly well. However, I was seldom doing the sports I love, which were a big part of my life before starting graduate school. It was not uncommon for me to reach 300 minutes of moderate to intense physical activity a week before starting FNP school. Therefore, I ambitiously chose to incorporate more physical exercise in my already busy schedule. I was adamant about improving this aspect of my life because almost nothing else comes close to being able to manage my stress level, improve my mood, while also having a positive impact on my physical health. Since starting graduate school, my exercise levels have decreased dramatically, to sometimes going a week or two without any exercise. I very much looked forward to gathering baseline data and seeking to improve these metrics. The initial goal I set was to complete 150 minutes of moderate exercise, defined as a heart rate between 120 and 140 beats per minute for my age, to vigorous exercise, which was defined as 144 to 177 beats per minute for my age in a week, to improve my physical and mental well-being. This changed, however, after my first PDSA cycle.
Improvement was to be noted by increased energy levels by means of self-reporting on a 0 to 10 scale, lower perceived stress scale, and a lower PHQ-9 score. I tracked the minutes of my exercise and the maximum heart rate I reached. In my planning phase, I developed a fishbone diagram to understand the problem better. A fishbone diagram is a tool that helps identify the root cause or potential causes of the problem, the effect the CQI is aiming to solve or improve. I also developed a process map, which was like a roadmap to reaching my desired improvement. I put together a process map that included my daily responsibilities to identify gaps where exercise could be inserted on a regular basis. As mentioned, my original goal was to exercise 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise per week. For my first cycle of the PDSA cycle, I biked after work on Thursday for 60 minutes. My heart rate reached 147 beats per minute. That was the first time I exercised that week. The following Sunday, my team member was able to join me on a 2-hour hike where my heart rate reached a moderate intensity level of 132 beats per minute. I did reach my goal of 150 minutes per week of moderate to vigorous intensity exercise. However, in my study phase, I noticed that my PSS score had not gone down. It remained at 25. My study time had decreased significantly, as exercising is pleasurable for me, and I would take my time to unwind after an exercise, or I would socialize with a friend if I went with a team member on a hike, for example. The drop in study time increased my stress level and decreased my sleep. Additionally, I got in contract to buy a house, and I started the process of becoming a first-time home buyer, as I currently need a more appropriate place to live while in school. This took a significant amount of time from my already narrow time window to fit in 150 minutes of exercise while keeping up with my studies, full-time work, and my family demands. Therefore, I decided to adjust the goal of my project. I changed my goal to be more realistic and achievable, to be a SMART goal. I changed it to be 100 minutes of moderate intensity measured as a heart rate between 120 and 142 beats per minute for my age. Here I will summarize the next 2 PDSA cycles of my CQI project. For cycle 2, I set out to implement the new goal of 100 minutes of moderate intensity exercise. I continued to measure my energy levels 3 times a day, and I took the average of the 3 measurements. Additionally, I completed the PSS and PHQ-9 screening at the end of each week on Sunday nights. I found that I fell short of my goal of 100 minutes of moderate intensity exercise that week. Performing a quick fishbone diagram, the main change was that I had spent a significant amount of time that week with home buying tasks such as reviewing loan documents, etc. My PSS and PHQ-9 scores were 3 and 17 respectively. Both had improved. In cycle 3, I discussed with my team members that I had not met my objective for the second week. They provided encouragement and emotional support. We made a plan to go on a walk after work on Friday and a hike on Saturday. Sunday, I accompanied a team member to a high-intensity interval training gym class. The home buying process had settled down by now, and the doubling down of support from my team members resulted in me reaching my goal of 100 minutes of moderate intensity exercise that week. My heart rate reached 124 beats per minute on the walk, 137 beats per minute on the hike, and 145 beats per minute in the HIIT class. My PHQ-9 was 3 and my PSS score was 15. Here was a graph showing my PSS and PHQ-9 scores throughout the PDSA cycle. Note that in cycle 1, the PSS score remained the same as baseline. However, after implementing the change to my CQI aim, my PSS score dropped to 17 and 15, along with my PHQ scores. Here is a graph showing the average energy levels in my CQI project. Baseline shows that my energy levels were low through the work week and increased during the weekends as I was able to exercise more and sleep more. However, after implementation of my CQI aim, my energy levels did increase significantly in cycles 1, 2, and 3. Here is a graph of my heart rate per PDSA cycles. The diamonds show the heart rate for cycle 1, the squares show heart rate for cycle 2, and the triangles show heart rate for cycle 3. And they do show that they fall within the range of 120 to 177 beats per minute. What I learned. I learned how to track data and chart it on a graph for evaluation. During my CQI project, I also realized that I was trying to measure too much. Because exercise can improve many things, I set out to measure a lot of metrics: energy levels, PSS, PHQ-9, activity levels, and heart rate. However, I think that detracted from my desired improvement of simply exercising more to improve my physical health. Keep it simple.